I'm Catherine Ambrose. This all started out because I've been a realtor my whole life, and my husband Randy over here. Randy. Our daughter Jillian. There we go. She's growing a new team member for us. Baby girl is coming June 20th. Good work. Good work. All right, so we're Ambrose family. We knew that senior homeowners needed a lot more information than the average realtor could provide. And we knew that a lot more support was needed, so we started this to learn right along with you on everything to do with aging that we possibly could learn. And this has turned into a whole big thing. And we have people watching us in all 50 states now. We lead the country in what we're doing here in this room. So we have national attention. This is the largest attended seminar of its kind in the country, and the only one that has inspired an ongoing television program. Our television program is unique in all the world. And yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. So thanks to PBS Kansas. And now with Cake, our ABC affiliate, Channel 10, letting us come on every Tuesday on the midday news. That's a really special opportunity. So as a real estate agent, now turned into all these other things, we didn't expect to become TV people. We didn't expect any of this. We just wanted to have a little seminar and interview local people and ask questions about Medicare and Medicaid. Is that stuff not confusing? Holy cow. That's why we need friends like Inspired Advisors and Fleece and Gooing, you know, the people in this room that can help navigate, because if you thought getting your child into the right preschool or the right kindergarten or the right college was hard, nobody told us how hard this was going to be. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I found this Sam lady on the internet. Isn't that awesome? We're living in one of the best times, no matter what bad stuff happens. Like, we're living in the most exciting time in human history because we can share ideas all over the world. So I found this lady about a year ago, and I'm like, who is this? And I reached out to her, we messaged back and forth, and then I kind of disappeared. I do that. And then I contacted her just not too long ago, and now we're doing all kinds of things together, and I'm just so delighted to introduce you to her today. So she is gone globally viral. She has a heart for teaching on aging topics, and she lives in California, but her biggest audience is New York. Second biggest is Sydney, Australia. She gets recognized wherever she goes. Sometimes people are literally watching her video on their phone, and then they see her or they hear her voice. It's amazing, the power of the internet. All right, so I have self-dubbed myself America's Senior Home Coach, and we're taking off with that. So home and lifestyle coach, television producer, and we have all kinds of services to help you locally. If you can silence your phone, that would be great. Because people get mad at me if your phone rings. But we know sometimes you have to be watching your phone. All right, veterans, we want to thank you, recognize your service. We live in one of the greatest countries in the world, one of the greatest countries that's ever existed, and we thank you for your service to our country. If you'd like to be recognized and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, we'd love for you to come on up. All veterans, if you'd like to come up, we'd love to have you up. Oh, Dr. Ray Rogers is here, and she's a veteran. Come on up. Can you believe that we have a law firm and one of the best doctors in the country and just all these amazing people that come to support this community event? All right, I'm going to let you take it away. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Jillian Ambrose is our co-facilitator, senior home coach and realtor, and senior move manager. And I want to thank our education partners. And I put the PowerPoint together today. Yeeks. So I hope I have everybody on here. We have Inspired Advisors, which are an insurance resource, anything you need for Medicare and all insurance. Providence Home Health and Hospice. They've been here since the very beginning. Oxford Senior Living. They have some of the most wonderful communities in the city, and they saved the Kansas Masonic Home and turned it into Oxford Vista. Lifeway Mobility, The Regent, Harmony Home Concepts, Phil Davis, one of very, very few certified aging in place specialists. He's a contractor. Harmony Homes are a contractor that can come out and make your home safer or your new place safer, more convenient. Catholic Charities Adult Day Services, who brought the File of Life folders today. I just could not even believe it when I saw somebody walking with these red folders. Make sure you get a folder. So emergency people will check your fridge for something like this. This is where you should have your essential documents. Your essential documents do not do you any good if they're in the safety deposit box. Who's going to get those? So all your essential documents should be in here, and also your medication information, advance directives. All those things should be in here, and they will grab it off your fridge. Okay, or this is something you could carry around with you. So these are hard to find. I just want to make sure you're really understanding that. These are really hard to find. So thank you to Adult Day Services for bringing a stack. We wanted to take these on ABC, and we couldn't find them anywhere. We weren't reaching the right person at Adult Day Services, and we did find some little versions, and we were able to take those on. These are hard to find. So go thank her back there for bringing those. All right, and Club Parkinson's, they're going to be talking next month. And we want all of our education partners to speak up because you're a wealth of wisdom and knowledge, so speak up today. Thank you to our coffee sponsor. That is so appreciated. So what do? We're 501c3, Empowered Senior is, and then Ambrose team and Senior Home Coach, we do this. We do in-home consults. We meet with you to talk about being safer in your home or what options are. We do family meetings. We can maybe talk some sense into somebody. Okay, so do you need somebody that you could use some help communicating with? Spouse, adult child, a neighbor? You can call us. All right, we do downsize coaching. We help you figure out how to do these overwhelming, mature life tasks and do what you need to do to simplify your life. We manage moves. We're experts at it. We're certified senior move managers. That's a big deal. We do PBS. Now we do cake. We'd like to be on Channel 12 and Channel 3, too. So if you know somebody at 12 and 3, you might ask them to let us come on. We do real estate. Real estate. You don't need a real estate agent anymore, guys. If you're going to sell your home at this phase of life, you don't need a real estate agent. You need a senior home coach that understands all this, okay? Because a real estate agent, I've recruited and trained real estate agents for years. They do not understand this. Our entire industry, the National Association of Realtors, is asleep at the wheel. Has the National Association of Realtors been in trouble lately? All right. They're not even doing what they're supposed to do, let alone paying any attention to seniors. So I know you know real estate agents. They go to your church. Maybe you drink wine with them. Maybe they're your neighbor. Maybe they're your kid. But you don't need a real estate agent right now. You need somebody that gets all this because it's way more complicated than selling a home. And by the way, at this phase of life, packing a box and getting a truck, no. It's way more complicated than you can imagine. So we help you pack with the unpack in mind, and you don't have to learn everything the hard way. We already learned everything the hard way. And I could list out all the dumb, stupid things that we did to be where we are today. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. My phone number's on everything for now. For now, that phone number rings here. And if you don't get me, just keep trying. And we've got your connections for everything. All right. Sam Cradduck. So we said, ask Sam, Aging Unfiltered. Are you unoffendable at this point in your life? Can we just, be unoffendable? She might be a little nervous. No, I don't think she gets nervous. All right, here's your clicker. All right, here you go.
Thank you, dear. You want your glasses?
I think they're fine. Here, I'm going to take my coffee.
All right, I'm going to give you these.
Okay, all right, we will take care of that.
You know what to do. She knows what to do. All right. Hello. You all can hear me, right? I'm easily heard without, here's the clicker. I'm easily heard usually without a microphone. I'm Sam. I am a gerontologist. Do you know what a gerontologist is? You do? Okay. It means I have a lot of student loan debt still. I also hold a psychology degree, which means nothing other than I'll psychoanalyze you while we're talking. And I own a home care agency. So I own a senior home care agency. I came from ground up. So I'm not just one of those professionals that says, hey, I know how to do this. I actually did this. I did senior care for a living for a long, long time. Took care of a lot of loved ones, took care of a lot of people professionally. And I'm an assisted living administrator. All of that means nothing other than I love working with the aged population. And I like doing it from a little bit different perspective. So most people come in and they want to talk about how to do care from the caregiving angle. That sucks. I want to talk about it from your angle. I want to talk about it from the aging population. How many of you have ever been as old as you are right this second? You haven't. And you didn't come with a manual. It's not like we get the car manual and we go, okay, at 200,000 miles, it's time to change the oil again. We don't know. And some of us, unfortunately, have been rode hard and put away wet, if you understand that expression. And some of us were a little more pampered pooches, and so we're going to last a little bit longer. But whatever happens, these bodies are mechanical creatures, and they start to wear out. So we're going to talk about some things today. I don't try to offend people, but I am pretty unfiltered. And so I'll say things, and you'll go, and that's okay. So what Catherine said, yes, I have become quite the global sensation. I don't know why. I look at me and I think, why does anybody want to see this? But they do. And so it's weird. I have stood in lines at airports and watched people watching me, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. I've had people pass me and go, is this you? Yeah. Or walking in Costco in Kentucky. And I'm talking to my sister-in-law, because I was born and raised in Kentucky. And so I'm talking to my sister-in-law. This is a few months ago. And some lady whips around. She goes, I knew that was your voice. And I'm like, hi. I'm thinking, did we go to high school? No. I watch you on social media. So it's weird. It's weird to be places and be seen and be known. And it's kind of cool all at the same time. So out of that, how many of you have ever seen me on social media? You have. All right. So it happens. So I own the Living Room Senior Care, and then we coined this as More Than Heart Family and Caregiver Training. Why is it more than heart? Because your family members come in with all the heart in the world to take care of you. Some of them do it just for obligation, let's be honest. But most of the time it's because they have the heart to take care of you. They don't have the training. They don't have what the professionals have. They don't have the skill understanding. They don't have the disconnect from the emotions of it. So it takes more than that heart to provide the dignity and respect that you deserve. So before I start, I do want to go back to this. And she ran out back there. She's passing out her cards, so please get them. This is like literally one of the most important things I think anybody could ever bring to the table. and you want to put your DNR. How many of you have your DNRs done? Congratulations, you actually beat the high percentages. So technically around the world, we have about 60% of us that have them done, which is about 40% too few. A DNR, it's a do not resuscitate order or your advance directive. So what we want to see you guys do is make those decisions now so nobody else is trying to make them for you, okay? Make them on your terms and then revisit them. Okay? And I say everybody over the age of 18 needs to have one. Everybody over the age of 18 needs to be prepared because life has no guarantees, right? But what you would live with at 20 years old, you guys have exceeded that, right? How many of you at 20 years old thought, yeah, I can live with limitations? No, we're all immortal until we're not. Right? And we're, there was a time in my life where I said, if I ever end up in a wheelchair, push me off of a cliff. I was there. And then I landed in a wheelchair for a year. Well, thankfully, nobody pushed me off a cliff because I wouldn't be standing here today. Catherine would have had to find somebody else to drag around and wear out all week, and I wouldn't be able to share with you. But you learn to live with limitations as you age. You're kind of like, you've heard the story of the frog that you put in the water. You just kind of keep turning up the heat. That's what age does. So if all of those things that you don't have now happened all at once, and for some people it does, catastrophically through an accident or whatever. But if it all happened at once, it would be overwhelming. But little by little, there's a little bit less that you get to do. Little by little, you wake up one morning and you're like, oh, that hurts. It didn't hurt yesterday. So we're going to get into this a little bit. Let's see if this thing works for me. Click. There it goes. The big surprise. Right? Uh-huh. How come it is that all of us are aging, but all of us are surprised when we get old? It's like you wake up and you go, oh, jeez. It is the big surprise when it happens. None of us expect it, and we all should. So, and no matter how much we try to hold back the hand of Father Time, he's still turning. The anti-aging business is over $70 billion. Does that mean that there's that much money spent to try not to do what we're all going to do? Isn't that crazy? And then you know what? We only spend $1 billion to teach people how to take care of people that are getting old. Isn't that crazy? Shouldn't that be flipped around? I mean, I'm sorry. I understand that we may not want to. Oh, somebody didn't listen. And now we're going to all point at you. So, shouldn't we be spending our resources taking care of you guys instead of trying to keep from getting there? I think so. And understanding when you get there, this is what it's going to be like. And it's not going to be the same for everybody. None of us are on the same journey. But there's going to be some similarities. Anyway, let's keep rolling. There is no fountain of youth. It's not. You don't get to dip in the water and come out and you're 25 years younger. Now, there are things that you can do to take care of yourselves. Obviously, I didn't do them well yet. But I'm sure that I'm going to change my lifestyle, right? Because we all are. We're all going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to do it better and we're going to do it different. But there are things that you can do that are going to help you age a little bit better. But guess what? Not everybody chooses to do those things. You can quit smoking if you're a smoker. And it's going to give you extra time, right? It's going to help your lungs. It's going to help your heart. It's going to help your breath. It's going to help your smells. It's going to help all kinds of things. But most smokers don't choose to wake up and quit. And that's okay if that's what they choose, okay? So I'm very much an advocate of allowing people to live their life on their terms. And sometimes we make bad decisions. How many people in this room are an adult? All right. Are adults allowed to make bad decisions? Yeah. Did your kids ever make a bad decision? But yet your kids will be the first one to point out, Mom, you shouldn't eat that. Dad, you shouldn't have that piece of cake. It's like, shut up. So you're going to wake up one day, you're going to look in the mirror, and you're going to go, oh, yeah, there's those wrinkles. It happens. Collagen leaves us. Hormones change. Our skin changes. And skin's really, really, really important. Skin is super duper important. What's the largest organ in your body? Yeah, it's not in your body, it's on it. And people are like, what? It's an organ? Yeah. And if you don't take care of it, you're going to end up with some issues because your skin is so super important. Now, here's my favorite topic in the whole wide world. How many people want to talk about peeing their pants today? All right. So folks, it is a real issue, and it's really embarrassing. And it really comes with the stigma of shame. Now, why does it come with so much shame? How many of you ever potty trained someone? Okay, you ever potty trained a child? All right. And when you were potty training your child, just like me, just like my mom, just like my grandma, you said these things. Only babies pee their pants. Big girls don't pee their pants. Big boys don't mess their pants, right? So now you're 35, 40 years old, you take off on a little jog and you go, or you sneeze, and you're like, oh, I'm a baby. Only babies mess their pants. And I'm not telling anybody as I'm sneezing. Honey, we all know the look. We've all stood in the grocery store and we know what this is. We know what it means. Right? So, but what's the problem with it? We try and hide it. We're embarrassed by it. It's filled with shame. And because we try and hide things, we don't always hide things well. And we don't always do it the right way. So we may be embarrassed to buy those products in the store that take care of it. You know, nobody wanted to buy tampons and leave them in the top of the cart. You were afraid that the grocery guy was going to know that you needed those things. And now when it comes to Depends, there's not enough stuff to shovel that under in the grocery cart. And I don't want my neighbor to see that they're in there, and I might run into them. So I'm not going to buy them. And then it comes with all kinds of issues. It causes all kinds of problems. When we don't take care of this very issue right here, I believe, and I don't think I'm wrong in this, that one of the leading causes of health issues in our aged community is actually this topic right here, because we don't talk about it enough. Why? What's it do? Breaks down your skin. Causes rashes. Causes UTIs. What's a UTI cause? Holy smokes. You ever seen anybody that all of a sudden they were really confused and they weren't a couple days ago? Let's be doing a UA on them. Let's do a urinalysis. Let's find out what's going on. Holy smokes. I didn't listen. Did you all hear that? Ooh. I'm hiding under here so Catherine does not yell at me. Busted. In fairness, I have 3 of these daggone things. And I failed you. Please forgive me. All right. Oops. Yeah, clap that one out there. All right, back to that serious moment we were going to have for a second. Cognition is affected by a urinary tract infection. I have literally known people that have passed away because they've gone septic from untreated UTIs. What a terrible thing to have happen. And why? Because we can't normalize something that's happening, because we don't talk about it. When we don't talk about it, we also don't seek treatment for it. So there are treatments, there are things that you can do to help it. But if you're not talking about it, if you're too embarrassed when you go to the doctor, and they're going, "You got a problem?" "No." Then you're not getting it solved, okay? So pretty please with sugar on top. Don't be embarrassed by this topic. I can guarantee you that people much, much younger than everyone in this room are peeing their pants. I can promise. And much older than the little ones that we expect to. It is a normal happening, okay? And don't think that you guys get off the hook. You guys do it too. Yours is just for different reasons. Yours is usually a prostate issue. But it happens. So go get it checked out. Because funny, they can do a little terp. And lots of times that takes the pressure right off. And it solves that problem for you guys really easy, okay? Us women are designed a little bit different if you didn't already know that. And so ours has a little bit difference because of babies and all kinds of fun stuff, but let's talk about that. The other reason why we have incontinence issues and UTIs is because we don't drink enough. Why don't we drink enough? Because then we got to go to the bathroom. Ollie, if I'm going to have to get up, then my knees are going to hurt, my hips are going to hurt, my back is going to hurt. And so I'd much rather sit here in this chair and not drink than to get up and go take that walk to the bathroom. And so then I'm even going to hold my urine, and I'm going to sit here doing this number, not drinking, because when I go to get up, it's... Oh, yes, ma'am. But so the longer you sit there, the more the muscles in your hips start to say, "Hey, I don't want to work anymore." And so then the more pain you're causing yourself the next day, just to keep yourself from walking today. So pretty please with sugar on top, drink. Best medicine, the best medicine that you can take is a bottle of water. I wholeheartedly believe that. The best medicine that you can have is a bottle of water. Keep your system flushed out. We have way too many toxins in this world not to. Hydrate. Let's see what I've got. Dignity. Okay. This is going to seem a little ADD like I am and very jumbled, but let me ask you a question. How many of y'all can pee in front of somebody else other than that sneeze where it happens accidentally? You know, I'm not talking about the grocery store. Oh, goodness. I'm talking about hey, you know, if you walk in the bathroom and I'm peeing, I'm okay. I've peed in front of my spouse. I can do that. To be totally honest, I could pop a squat right here, and I wouldn't be embarrassed. But I go to do the big job. I'm closing the door because my poop does not stink. And I don't want you to know that it does. I have to be totally honest. Now, this is just a little bit too much TMI in my world, but I've been with Catherine all week long. And what was it, Monday morning? She shows up in my hotel room at 8 a.m. And I'm thinking, I haven't pooped yet? And my brain's like, it ain't happening now. And it was literally like mid-afternoon, and I'm going, we're still together. So, but as we age, our caregivers like to take us into the restroom, and then they want to stand there and pat their foot. How you doing? And they want to have a conversation like a gynecologist during an exam. And you're going, could you leave now? So I try to tell our caregivers and anybody that is in that position, even if it's your spouse, even if it's your mama, your papa, somebody that you've been taking care of, you've been intimate with, whatever, leave. Put a towel over your lap, give you that sense of protection and that sense of warmth, and walk out of the room. Yeah, you don't have to stand there and pat your foot because some people can't pee in front of others. And we're going to hold that urine, and we're going to have a UTI because of it. And God forbid if you can poop in front of somebody, because I sure can't. Obvious. How many of y'all know him? The Arthur? Uh-huh. He's that tenant that won't leave. He didn't pay rent. You didn't sign a lease with him. And you can serve him a 3-day notice to quit, and the son of a buck's still there, right? Arthritis. Uh-huh. Arthritis. Yeah, he's that my hips hurt, my knees hurt, my back hurts. If it bends, it hurts. Holy smokes. And that's why I'm going to sit here all day long and hold my urine and not drink anything. And then tomorrow, when I'm hallucinating and I'm having all kinds of cognitive issues and I'm physically seeing Arthur, I don't recognize that I've now caused myself to have a UTI. So please, please, pretty please with sugar on top, get up, walk, be mobile, do as much as you can. I know that he hurts. I know it all too well. So that's the reason I spent that year in the wheelchair. He's there, he does hurt, but the less you move, the more tendency he gets to take over. So please, 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 the best thing you can do to get him out is to move yourself. I call this the T-Rex syndrome. So the other cause for UTIs. So what bacteria causes UTIs? Most. E. coli. Where's E. coli come from? Your stool. Your poop. So the T-Rex syndrome, that's when my arms aren't quite as long as they used to be. Maybe I'm a little rounder than I once was. I am. Maybe Arthur is there and that bend. Oh. And so I'm not getting the backside quite as clean as it once was, and it's certainly not as clean as it needs to be. And so that bacteria sits there in your panties, in your underwear, and it's like a petri dish. And it gets to find its way up a urethra, and it causes those UTIs, okay? So I call it the T-Rex syndrome. We got these little arms and this big old butt. And so I'm a real advocate for using bidets. How many people have one? And I probably said it wrong, a bidet. I'm going to tell you, go to Costco and buy one. Have somebody install it on your toilet, and you will thank me tomorrow. Get the one with the heated seat and the warm water and the blow dryer. You're gonna find yourself sitting there going, yeah. I'm telling you, I know it sounds weird, but let's think about this. I told you this is unfiltered, right? If your dog poops on the carpet, are you just gonna go over with a piece of tissue and wipe it up and walk away and say that's good? No, you're spraying it down, right? You're cleaning it up. Well, folks, when was the last time you shaved your bottom? I'm just asking. And please don't answer. Okay? So think about it. If it's not clean enough for the dog poop on the carpet, it's probably not clean enough for the carpet on the behind. Okay? So spray it. Okay? They're really cool seats. They're retrofitted. You're going to love me for it. The angle of them's just perfect. I'm serious. I miss mine when I'm gone. All right. So, skin. We talked about the skin, right? How many of you have thinner skin now? And I'm not talking about being offended. I'm talking about actually physically thinner skin than you had when you were younger, right? You get those skin tears and you're like, what the heck? I do. It's one of the reasons why I have long sleeve shirts on today, because I was pruning my roses before I left. And so I have torn up my arms pretty good. Thin skin can be for a number of reasons. It can be that collagen loss. How many of you are asthmatic and you've taken steroids, or for whatever reason you've had a lot of steroids? They'll do it. Hormones will do it. So we have medications. How many of you have been smokers? Wow, I'm not in Kentucky, am I? I mean, the whole room would have flown up in the air right there.
There was one hand that went up. Only one person here
Only one person
has
admitted
ever
it.
smoked.
Only one person admitted it. Come on. Here, I can throw it up. I've done it. All right.
What are we smoking?
Whoa! All right. Well,
Now raise your hand.
There you go. We got a whole new crowd going on now. All right. So, and genetics. So, age, sun. How many of you have ever been in the sun? All right. All right, there we go. So, the skin gets a little bit thinner as we age. But yet, when we get cut, what do? We go get a Band-Aid. So somebody passed you all out of tissue right there, and it wasn't so you could cry, and it certainly wasn't so you could sneeze and catch it. But what I want you to do is try and take that Band-Aid off that tissue for me. I'm just telling you. So I have seen this happen in the medical field. I've watched physical therapists do it. I've watched doctors do it. I've watched nurses do it. And I always wonder, where did you go to school? Do you not understand that the aged community skin is a little bit thinner than the rest of the world? And so please, please, please understand. I use this experiment all the time. I use this as a demonstration all the time. When your skin starts to thin out, don't add anything to it that's going to pull away and damage it anymore. We've seen these kind of tears go on. I have seen some horrid skin tears, and I won't put them up here. So, whoop, that goes backwards. There we go. So I've seen some really terrible skin tears. Please, please, please don't use boop, boop, boop. I should have had this set up. Like a magic trick around here sometimes. All right. So we're going to go this direction. Now, back to being ADD, because we're going to skip from skin tears right into this next topic. So back to skin tears. Just please protect your skin. My mom's was incredibly thin. My mom's skin, you could almost touch her and it would roll. It was like wet tissue paper. And I know you've seen somebody that has that. My mom was a 3-pack-a-day smoker. I was raised on a tobacco farm, so it was normal. We were just paying for our own livelihood there. So her skin was incredibly thin. Some of the worst skin tears I've ever seen in my life I actually watched on her. So protect your skin. Don't use sticky stuff on it. Use Coban like you would if you went to get a blood draw. Now, let's go over here and look at this. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. So the other thing that happens when we age, we used to all be afraid of the C word, right? The C word was the scariest thing in the whole wide world we could ever think of being diagnosed with. When you guys were younger, the thought of being diagnosed with cancer literally scared the pants off of you. And now what's the scariest diagnosis you can think of? Dementia. Dementia. Isn't it amazing how it's changed? And here's what I hope, is by the next generation that comes up, my kids, by that generation, it'll be something else, and dementia will finally have enough treatments and cures that we won't be so afraid of it. Yes. So, here's how I describe memory loss. So, you poor women that have been married, I'm sorry. They ask stupid questions. And you poor men, I'm sorry. You ask stupid questions. How many of you have ever walked in and looked at your wives and said, "Where's my socks? Honey, where's my shirt?" You ask some stuff and it's like, I put it in the oven. Where do you think it is? Yeah, I'm trying it. I don't know why. I was married. I did 25 to life. I served my sentence well. And I got asked some of the most foolish questions. And I'm like, so I can only imagine now when your poor husband walks in the room and he truly has a dementia diagnosis. And he says, where are my socks? He doesn't get that answer that says, oh, honey, you really don't know. He gets that answer that says, what the hell are you asking me that stupid question for ever again? And now, why? Where do you think I put them? So he gets frustration of all of those years of asking stupid questions. And wives were also to blame. We don't ask stupid questions as much as we expect stupid things. Like, we expect our husbands to be mind readers. We do. Come on, we all do it. We've all played the game. We've all put the test out there. We've all thought the trash needs to go out. We've thought it. We've not said it. We've not said, honey, will you take the trash out? We don't do that. We think, the trash needs to go out. Let's see if he does it. Here's the test for the day. And then after dinner, the trash is still there. Guess who's in trouble? The person that never got asked. But we do it. So just so you know, man, if you haven't figured it out after all these years, you've been being tested, and you will continue to be tested. Okay. So dementia. It's not our favorite topic. It's not something that we like to think about, for certainly something we don't want. But unfortunately, something that will affect everyone in this room in one way or another. Whether you're diagnosed or you're treating someone else with it, you have someone in your family that has it, you're the caregiver of someone with it. So the best thing and the only thing that I can help you understand at this point right now is it is not intentional, as much as those stupid questions seem intentional after years and years and years of stupid questions and stupid tests. It's not as intentional as it may appear, but it definitely is there, and it is a brain damage, okay? So when you start to think about this person looks absolutely 100% normal, and why can't you remember what you had for breakfast? Doesn't make sense to me. We just had breakfast. Why can't you remember? It's because of this, and this is my explanation. It's not a clinical explanation, because we could get into neurotransmitters. We could get into all of those things, but the best thing I can do is bring it down. You know, these $5 words that the neurologists like to use, they mean not a diddly dink to us, because our vocabulary is about 25 cents. Mine's a dime. And so let's talk down here. So let's think about our brain as a filing cabinet. Okay?
I can hold it up for you.
You got no.
So they can see it?
You can't. Can they see it?
Not quite. Not everybody.
Oh. Yep.
I'm not tall enough.
Huh. All right. You got to hold it level.
Okay.
All right. All right. See, if you tilt it, though, I can't work with it.
All right.
And now it's going to get too tall for me.
I got you.
All right. All right. So I say to you, what'd you have for breakfast this morning? And you say, did I eat breakfast? I don't know. Well, let's think about this. So if our brain is a filing cabinet, and we have this little memory secretary that runs around up there, and she takes every single memory, and she takes this bacon and eggs and whatever else is on here, and she throws it in there. It's burning up, right? And we say, well, I don't know, but I can't see back here, dear. So you get the idea here. You get the idea. So you're like, I don't know, but when your dad and I went out to dinner for our first date, we had steak and shrimp. You're like, okay, but Mom, what'd you have for breakfast? I don't know. Did I have breakfast? So that memory secretary takes all of our memories and she files them in chronological order to the front of the drawer. So everything that's happening right this moment, it's going in the front of the drawer. but there's a fire burning, okay? And so I'm going to remember everything that's further back chronologically. But these memories are getting destroyed almost immediately. Does that make sense? All right. So then that fire starts in the drawer. And that memory secretary, nobody teaches her how to refile. So she's not filing to a different drawer. She's not filing to the back of the drawer. She's still throwing our new memories away because she's throwing them right in the fire. And then that fire continues to rage backwards and rage on. So the best thing I can tell anybody that's living with someone with dementia, a progressive dementia, is meet them where they're at. Enjoy the memories of the days that they're in, and don't try to bring them back to reality. I see this far too often in families where somebody will say, "Was Dad coming home for dinner soon?" And the daughter will say, "Mom, Dad died in 2010. What? What? He's dead? He's gone? And all of the emotions of a brand new memory just hit. All of the emotions of a brand new memory just hit this poor woman. And then 30 minutes later, was Dad coming home for dinner soon? And again we do it. Nope, Dad's gone. Dad died, Mom. And all of the emotions hit again and again and again. And that is sheer and complete torment, folks. That, in my mind, is abuse. It's one of the worst abuses we can put somebody through. But I do see it happen because we think as loved ones, we're going to retrain you. We think as loved ones that if we correct you, we're going to bring you back to our reality. Does that make sense? It's not going to work. So how many of you have ever corrected a teenager? Did it go well? I have 4 children. Let me tell you what, correcting teenagers never went well in my life. What happens when you're corrected or when you corrected your kids? What happens? Immediately, you're going to defend yourself. So what happens, and I hate, but I personally believe that one of the leading causes of aggression in dementia is the caregiver and the family member and not the person suffering with the disease. Now, yes, there are times when the disease and the brain changes can cause some behavior issues, but the majority of the time, it's because we're spending our time not in their world, but trying to bring them back to our own, correcting them. So if you walk in this room and you say, "Built this in 1928. No, you didn't. You don't even know which end of a hammer to swing. You didn't build nothing. And this wasn't here in 1928. Yes, it was. Now I'm on the defense. Now you've just corrected me. But if you go, "Wow, you did a great job." Just popped out. Yeah, I did good, right? Give them it. Give them the wins. Take the wins. Enjoy the relationship that you have every day that you have it, regardless of what time frame you're in. And then there'll be moments where maybe today I don't know how to button my shirt. Maybe today I don't know how to do these actions, and tomorrow I do. So a lot of family members think that then it's an intentional, they're manipulating me. Nope. The brain's a really funny thing. Neurotransmitters are really funny. You ever had an electrical short in your house? Ever had an electrical short or know what an electrical short is? It's kind of where it connects, doesn't connect. The lights flicker, the light don't. Sometimes that can happen in the brain. Sometimes it can kind of short out. And sometimes what's connected right now isn't connected. And now it is. And it's kind of weird. But I can promise you, most of the time, there are some manipulative people out there. So I'm never going to discount it. But most of the time, it's not true manipulation. All right. And somebody's going to tell me here all day, so.
Let's turn the tables on Sam. She's been shocking us and surprising us. We have a surprise for you. And I know you're unshakable, so we'll come back to you in just a minute. But right now, stay where you are.
Stay where I am?
Yeah, because you're part of this show.
I'm part of the show.
Yeah.
She already put me on social media on this shaking machine that had my booty shaking, and I got a lot of jelly to jiggle.
At Dr. Ray's office, Dr. Ray has a lot of solutions to a lot of things.
Oh, honey, she put me on this little round seat the other day.
Woohoo!
I will tell you, please go, ladies.
And you're welcome.
Yes. No, she has a lot of really good, healthy solutions. I don't know what they're going to do now.
We're going to do a dance break because laughter and movement helps you learn.
Oh, dancing.
So we're going to take a little dance break. We're going to put Arthur in the closet. This is how you control Arthur. So if you would like to stand and join us or sit and join us, take a potty break and come back. We're going to do a little movement. This is keep the energy of the room up, keep your energy up.
Everybody up. We had 2 things to celebrate in March, right? One of them was Mardi Gras. So get marching. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Pick those knees up. Here we go. And then you're going to pick your favorite instrument and you're going to play it. If it's a trumpet, a trombone, a saxophone. We got room, spread out, you gotta move a little bit. March, march, march. All right, here we go. We'll do a little kick, here we go. It's New Orleans, right? We really should be shimmying, right? Shimmy! Woo! We got some entertainers right here. Back to those kicks. How about this? Get that march going, knee up. You're going to cross over, cross, cross. Think about that tummy being tight. Or get that core. You do not have to do sit-ups. In fact, you shouldn't do sit-ups. Things like this, if you think about your posture being tall, this is core work, people. You don't have to get on the floor to be strong in your core. Woo! All right, back to those instruments. Play them loud. Woo! How many played in the band growing up? I did. I played the trumpet, French horn. Yep. I can't make the noise anymore, but I try. That's why I play the fake ones here. Back to the kicks. Who's been to Mardi Gras? Has anybody been to Mardi Gras in the big New Orleans town? I've never been. All right, stay here. Catch your breath. We got one more. We're now celebrating the green. Yes, St. Patrick's Day. All right, so we're going to do a jig. Do your kicks here. You don't have to bounce. We're going to get fancy without bouncing if you don't want to bounce. All right, we're going to do double kicks. Ready? Kick, kick, woo! Kick, kick. Why do I want to say yeehaw? That's the wrong thing. Kick, 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 kick. All right, then we're going to get a little fancier. Here we go. Kick, cross, kick, down. Kick, cross, kick, down. You can hold that chair for balance. Not kick the chair, hold the chair, people. All right, single kick. Woo! Remember movement, all the things we're talking about. Exercising. Get up and go to the bathroom when you gotta go, people. Every little bit of movement makes a difference. Let's be honest. Double, double. All right, now the fancy see. Here we go. Kick, cross, kick, down, kick, cross, kick. Woo! Is everybody feeling smarter now? Woo, march it out. Woo! I hope you all, that's where we're going to finish. Do your jig. I hope you all have a wonderful march. And remember to keep moving. It works against this thing we're talking about called aging. The more we move, the better we feel, I promise. Work through a little bit of pain. Y'all have a good one.
Motion is lotion. Motion is lotion. That was Rebecca from Club Hope. Club Hope. Okay, Sam, back to you.
Holy smokes.
When we were dancing, Rebecca said, "Get up and go to the bathroom, folks." And Sam said, "We just did."
All right. Woo! I wet my pants, and I think it was the sweat running down my back. Or at least I'm going to tell you that's what it was. Oh, how many of y'all knew she was going to do something like that? All right. Every time, thanks. I didn't know. Next time, be more friendly and warn the person standing up here, especially if they're fat like me. Oh. I can breathe. Can you all breathe? I like that I got introduced to Arthur's brother. I've had him for around for a while. His name's Bursitis. Woo. Okay. I said something about how much longer do we have left, and somebody started playing music and making me dance. I'm not asking that question again, so you all are here until my flight.
So we have a half hour, and we want to save questions for the end. So
Okay.
write down your questions for Sam.
Oh, all
so
right.
we do about 20 minutes more, 15, 20 minutes, and we'll open up for questions.
I got you. I
And
told
we
you.
have a couple special announcements, too.
So I am one that can literally do this from sunrise to sunset. So believe it or not, what was always marked on my report card when I was in grade school? Talks too much.
1, 2, 3. Shh.
Oh, they're still trying to breathe, Catherine. So, yes, I always had talks too much put on my report card when I was in grade school, and my mama always thought her and her friends the way to shut me up was to put gum in my mouth. Okay? So guess what? I never do anything without gum in my mouth. I literally have gum in my mouth unless I'm eating food. And it's the weirdest thing. And people are like, so there is one of my viral videos where I'm chewing it like a cow chewing the cud. And that's when the gum gets a little stale, is when I'll start chewing it. Otherwise, it just lives under my tongue. People don't know it's there. But it is a product of I talk too much. Actually, I have an autoimmune disease, so I have a really dry mouth. It's one of the symptoms that I deal with, and so the gum helps because a dry mouth for a public speaker sucks. And so, how are you all? That was a good segue, I think, into this is not our second childhood. How many of you have ever been offended by the term, they're going through their second childhood? Uh-huh. And here's the one that I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend anyone. This one pisses me off. I got to change their diapers. No. No. I have fired people over that term. I told you I own a home care agency. We don't allow it. And you get a couple warnings out of me, but then if you're not going to show the respect that our age populations do, you don't need to work with them. You can go get a job at the daycare across the street from me and work with the children there. I cannot stand when people infantilize, and the term is actually pronounced infantilize, but I say infantilize because it's so much easier. Adults, you're not children. You're not going through your second childhood. We don't age to here and then roll backwards. But I see it happen all the time. So if I am feeding a child, I'm feeding them with the intent that I'm going to teach them how to do this independently on their own. Okay? If I'm feeding an adult, I'm feeding someone that knows how to do it, but they can't do it anymore for whatever physical or mental issue, cognitive issue, and they need my assistance in it. And the last thing I need to do is fly an airplane in their mouth and make them feel like they're a juvenile. So, not okay. I cannot stand to hear a caregiver baby talk an adult. It's like, by golly, everything we've got is because of this aged population. You need to respect them for who they are and what they've done and what you have. And you need to treat them with the respect that they're due. Yeah, absolutely. I want to hear a big old amen on that one. So this is not a second childhood. I understand that the market markets incontinence supplies as adult diapers. I want to see that word changed. I really do. I think, and I've said this, and I tell people this in interviews. I'm like, look, if I have a massive stroke and I have no use of any of my body parts at all, and some young caregiver walks in, and because I can no longer control my bowel or my bladder, I'm incontinent, and I'm there and I'm dependent on somebody else, and some young punk caregiver walks in the room and says, okay, I'm going to change your diaper, my muscle memory is going to smack the crap out of them. They're going to find themselves sitting in the East Coast. So, we age chronologically. We continue to get older. And unfortunately, our bodies do start to show the signs of age. They do. But movements like that, they're going to help. I'm not going to ask you how many of you leaked, but you know who did. Nobody warned me. Thank you. So here's the other thing that's really, really tough. You look around the room and you go, oh, they're aging very well. Oh, we compare ourselves to one another all the time. Isn't that terrible? It's a terrible thing we do in society. Oh, she's skinny. I'm not. Oh, they don't have gray hair yet. They must color it. Only, here's the thing, and this is what my hairdresser said the other day. People are paying a ton of money to have your hair colored. And I'm like, yes, they are. Thank you, Lord. So we all think that we haven't aged gracefully and we haven't aged well if we're not the perfect weight, the perfect skin, with lots of money, traveling, active, great health, loads of friends. How many of you have all of those boxes checked? And if you do, will you adopt me? Few of us get to check all those boxes. Some of us get to check one or two. Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. Holy smokes, you win. I'll send over the adoption papers later.
Hey.
She's 86.
All right.
She has aged very well. So we think that if we, pardon? There you go.
Woo!
Come on. Woo! Come on, fashion show it. Yeah. Uh-huh. Strut your stuff. This is my mama.
How old are you?
I am 57.
Oh,
I had to think about that.
I've got grandkids almost that age.
All right.
Okay, just one short thing. I told her, she's not in the room right now, when I'm left in a doctor's office by myself, I look for places to hide, like under their chairs, under their desks, behind their door. But all of us need hide under chairs now and then so we could get that physical exercise of getting themselves up off the floor.
Okay. Very true.
Yes.
Yes.
And I walked 11,000 steps 3 weeks ago yesterday.
Wow. Okay, I walked 11,000 steps in 3 weeks. No, I don't know. I've been with Catherine this week. She's like a hamster on a wheel. You guys, and I'll segue into that real quick. You all are lucky to have this woman. I'm serious. You really are. She pours her heart and soul and a whole lot of everything else into this community, and she's doing a great work. I live in a huge market. I live in Southern California, folks, and I work with the aged population. I'm on a lot of boards and do a lot of things, and it's crazy. And we don't have a Catherine. We need one. Everybody needs somebody that's got their back, because this isn't an easy time in your life. And she does. I understand, and I tell her all the time, when you're aging and a realtor walks in, and I probably said it wrong, because she's corrected me a few times because my Kentucky slang comes in there. Anyway, that's the villain in your story. That's the person that's going to take your home away. And the reality is, that's not what's happening. Age, father time, other issues are the reason why you may have to downsize. So I can't say enough good about her and the collaboration and the partnership that we've formed, and we're going to continue to do and serve your community and other communities in the world. I want to change the face of aging. I really do. I want to change the way people view our aging community. And she's a great one to do that with. So you guys are lucky to have her. Back to this, because I left you with the word hanging up here that I can't stand, which is failure. You're not failures, okay? So maybe you're not the perfect weight. Okay. I would like to be. Maybe someday I'll be that again. I've seen it before. I grew past it. Maybe your skin's not perfect. Maybe you don't have lots and lots and lots of money. You know what? Money is what money is. Traveling and active, I've been fortunate. I've traveled a lot. Believe it or not, I'm pretty active, as many of you are. I've watched you. I saw people dancing better than I can. Health, I already said it. We have way too much crap in our world for our health to stay good, so try and figure out what you need to get rid of. I found out a couple years ago I can't have bread anymore. It sucks. Gluten's not my friend. But loads of friends we can all have. All right? Loads of friends we can all find and we can all have. All right? So not having any one of those components doesn't make you a failure. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Be your best self. All right? Let's go. So, how much do we value classic cars? Oh, yeah. We like them old cars, right? We like them old cars. We'll go up, we'll touch them, we'll look at them, we'll peek inside. We're envious of the person that gets to drive it. And if it's you, I want to ride. Okay. How many like the new? They're okay. They're all right. They're not all they're cracked up to be. They certainly aren't that great, and they're way overpriced, right? Oh yeah, honey, I have this rule: after 40, if it's boob height or lower, you don't drive it. and as we all know, the boobs go down as we age. So think about this. So antique stores, man, how many of y'all flock to them? Oh yeah, we love antiques. We make stores, we make castles that we can go and visit and look at old stuff and, oh, man, that's nice. Touch it, see it. What I hate is when I go in an antique store now and there's toys that I used to play with. And I'm like, uh-oh, what's that mean about me? But my point here is, how many people are running into an assisted living and looking at our antique people? How many of us don't see the value in our older community? We see the value in old stuff until it's living and breathing. And then, it's a little bit too much. It's too scary. It's too familiar. It's too much our own future. Right? And that's not okay. Because I tell people that you guys are the living, breathing classic cars of humanity. The older community is the living, breathing classic cars of humanity. You're walking, living, breathing history books. So I use this example. My daughter called me. So I have 4 children. I have 10 grandchildren. I know, right? My youngest daughter called me and she said, Mom, this was in September. It was right after 9/11. She said, I don't even know what to think. Maylee, my granddaughter, her teacher wasn't alive at 9/11. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, think about that. Teachers in school weren't alive during 9/11. Now, how many of you remember 9/11? Come on. All right. And if you tell me about your experience in 9/11, you're going to tell me with emotion. You're going to tell me with feeling. You're going to tell me with such detail. Okay? Like, I almost can't talk about 9/11 without tearing up. Because my brother was on a plane that morning. And I didn't know which one. And so I had just moved to California. Literally just moved to California. So I had no idea what was going on or what was going to happen next, like the rest of you. So when I tell that story, when I remember that, I remember it with emotion. How many of you remember when Kennedy was shot? I don't. Sorry. So I can't tell that story with anything other than the information I've read in a history book. So when I share the experience of Kennedy being shot, I share it as a textbook. I would much, much, much rather hear history from somebody that's been there, done that, seen it, lived it, understood it, and has the emotions tied to it, than to read it from a book. Think about that. You're walking, living, breathing history books, and people need to turn the pages and read you. People need to sit and listen to your stories. If you can't get them to, pick up that newfangled thing called a smartphone that you've all learned to use and start recording it. Start recording it. I have every voicemail that my mom has left over the last 2 years of her life. I do. And every once in a while, because I look all tough and big, but I'm a sappy soul, and every once in a while, I'll just listen to them so I can hear her tell me that I'm ignoring her call again. But she loves me anyway, and I wasn't ignoring, I was working. Cars. Some of you have been rode a little bit harder, maybe not taken care of quite as well, but that engine still purrs. You're still worth listening to. You're still worth looking at. You're still worth being with. And you need to see the value in that, not compare yourself to others. Okay? Your experiences are not the experiences of your neighbor, unless you've been married to them for like the last 80 years and you've experienced everything together and you don't remember a time before them. But your experiences aren't the same. So don't compare yourself with other people, please. And share yourselves. Share yourselves with everybody that'll listen. I mean, somebody, walk up to them in the grocery store. Hey, were you alive in 9/11? Let me tell you about it, honey. Do you remember when Kennedy was shot? Please, see the value in yourselves and don't let anyone ever, ever, ever take anything away from you. Okay?
All right, we got 5 minutes, so we're going to do Q&A.
Q&A. All right. See, she shut me up.
Did you want to do this?
No.
No? Okay.
I didn't bring the,
All
I
right.
just brought it back.
You'll
to
see
give
that
to you.
on TV.
That's on TV.
Okay.
Q&A. Anybody got any Q's? I've probably got some A's, and if I don't, I'll make them up.
Did you have some more slides you want to go through?
I don't think so. I think we're in a good ending spot, aren't we?
Okay.
Yep, we're in a really good ending
Oh,
spot.
perfect.
Hey,
See, she's a pro. She's a pro.
I might have done this once or twice.
All right. So
Yeah.
we got Miss Jillian with the mic.
Oh, gosh. Yo, so great question. I'm all for intergenerational activities. I'm all for intergenerational teaching. I think we need to engage our younger community again. I grew up in a community, and I told you, I grew up in a small town in Kentucky. So I grew up in a community that if somebody's hair was a little bit gray or they were a little bit older, they were to be revered and respected and adored and listened to. Okay? And so the reason why we've gotten away from that is many, many, many things. Please remember, and I try and explain this to people, your generation of ladies, you're the first women that actually raised families and worked consistently. And so we kind of drifted away, but you still had to live up to the image of the silent generation of women, your moms, which had the perfect houses, the perfect baseboards, the perfect windowsills, and everything, while you were still working, while you were still raising your kids. And so we allowed our dynamics to change culturally, and I'm all for bringing that back. We're seeing a big movement towards intergenerational activities with our aged community. And I think that if you can get your schools here to let you volunteer, to just be a greeter at a grade school in the morning. I'm serious. Meet them in the mornings. If you can do something like that, talk to them, and if they'll do activities like that, it's amazing the connection that you'll see, because young people really do like older people. They're just not as exposed because, unfortunately, a lot of times we live far away from our grandparents. So any other questions? That one's great.
We got one here.
Go.
I don't have a question, but I have some information that might help the group. Talking about bidets. A regular bidet on a toilet seat does not work for me, and so I found personal bidets, handheld, on Amazon, and they're only like $25, $30.
Okay.
Woo!
Perfect.
Hot tip
All
right there.
There you go.
Okay. I'm going to sneak in a little plug, and then we'll get your question. This is Delno Eby. He's actually a famous actor that lives here in Wichita, Kansas. He's a real working actor. So, Delno, give us your little announcement.
On March 28th at the Orpheum, a new movie will be premiering called Sod and Stubble. It's a good family film directed by Ken Spurgeon. And then it will be a limited theatrical release and then going to streaming. But all the stars will be there. Some of them you might know. Mary McDonough, who was Aaron Walton in The Waltons, is in it. Bailey Chase, who was on Longmire and is now in the new the movie and the series Homestead on Angel Studios, is in it. Buck Taylor from Gunsmoke and Yellowstone, and then Rudy Ramos from High Chaparral and Yellowstone. They're in it. I'm in it. So if you want to be entertained by a good family film, March 28th at the Orpheum Theater is the premiere of Sod and Stubble, which is based on the book. So just want to let you know.
Perfect. Thank you, thank you.
That sounds like fun. Thank you, Delno. All right, we'll get some questions.
I just had one comment here about being exposed at an early age, because my grandmother pretty much raised me, and she was taking care of her elderly cousins, and so I spent my childhood in and out of nursing homes. So when I got older and I had kids of my own, I took them on the church visits to the nursing homes to interact with people and stuff. And your grandparents may not be right there, but they have foster grandparent programs.
Absolutely.
You just have to get your kids exposed to something like that. You get them exposed at the earliest ages, and they just grow up having the reverence and respect for the age.
And I will tell you that when I interview a lot of people. I have over 70 caregivers on staff with me, so I interview a lot of people. And every good caregiver that I've ever had, ever, when I interview them, I'm like, what do you like most about our aging? Well, my grandmother or my grandfather. It is that early exposure that creates that bond. My grandmother was the salt of the earth. I promise you, God only put one other person any better than her on this world. She was everything. And so she's the reason why I'm here and doing what I'm doing. Grandparents are important.
Yeah, so don't underestimate your legacy. Your legacy is what you're putting in people's hearts every day while you're alive.
And if you're a grandparent, stay involved with your grandkids, even if it doesn't seem like they want you around.
Mm-hmm. And okay, now we're going to offend people.
Uh-oh.
They are on social media. So if you aren't on social media, you aren't interacting with your family.
Yeah, there's
Okay, so you need to be on social media so you can see all their photos, all their stuff, all their boyfriends, all their girlfriends. Okay, so if we think it's funny that they don't know how to use a rotary phone or the old library card system, it's not funny if we don't know how to use Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. Okay, so this is really important so we don't get left behind, because I can promise you they're not telling you everything because they just don't think about it. You only can be totally engaged if you're where they are and they are online. And we had a question over here. And by the way, one reason why we're doing this is because Girl Scouts took me to a Catholic nursing home by St. Joseph Hospital years ago, and that helped bring me full circle.
Now, but when I was a leader, we would go to the nursing homes and we did Christmas caroling and we did spring and May Day, and I made a point at that time, and now I wish I hadn't said it, but I'm glad I did. I made a comment before we went, I said, now you may smell some things that you're not really going to be thrilled with. It's the way it is. Just deal with it, because they can't help it. And the girls, you know, when they first walked in, the first time we went, they were like, and I said, And later down the road, when the girls were in high school and we were doing things, they go, you know, I'm so glad.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if we all heard that, but if there was a nugget to share, go ahead and share that, Sam, if you could hear. That's why we want everybody on mic, and starting now, we're going to fit in questions only. Okay?
So basically, she said that she used to take her Girl Scout troop into nursing home visits, and kind of warned them about some of the smells.
Okay, good.
Because it can be somewhat overwhelming sometimes, and so, but later on down the road, when the kids were much older, they thanked her for that exposure. They thanked her for giving them that connection. So again, if we're going to antique stores and we're going to ooh and ah, and guess what? Antique stores oftentimes smell a little odd and musty. They do. So why aren't we going to assisted livings and honestly participating with the antiques of society?
Yeah.
The classic cars of humanity.
Very good. But does Oxford smell bad? No way!
I was going to add that. As somebody that is in and out of these awesome communities all the time, that may have been what it was like.
Or a Medicaid nursing home, maybe.
But it's not really like that.
No, it's not.
There's some really beautiful communities where you can go and have an awesome time and you're not going to have to leave smells.
And
Yeah,
she's
that's
pregnant and smells bother her.
If there's a smell,
It works like you wouldn't believe, and you all smell fantastic.
if there's a smell, they're going to take care of it, okay? Those places don't smell.
True.
30 years ago. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of nursing home I went to when I was a Girl Scout.
And because they didn't necessarily have all the products and the things and the understanding that they do now.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we
Good
do
clarification.
have much nicer, much more control. Go
Okay,
ahead.
we're going to do fast draw questions. Got a
Fast draw
question here.
questions. Go.
Several months ago, our guest speaker was Heather Sanderson, a neurologist from California. She'd written a book called Recovering from Alzheimer's. My questions are you familiar with that work? And do you think it's possible with certain treatments to recover or at least arrest the process of Alzheimer's?
I absolutely believe that we're on the cutting edge and we're ready to I think that we understand so much more. Do I think that we can completely reverse it at this point right now? Once damage is done, potentially not, but the brain's really fun. It'll rewire itself like a house can be rewired around a short circuit. So do I think that we're on the cutting edge and we're understanding more? Yes, I do. And I think that we can totally change some of the effects by changing diet and not relying, I'm not, and boy, oh boy, I could get myself shot here. I'm not someone that's into pharmaceuticals. So I think sometimes we don't cure things because they generate a lot of money.
Yep.
And so I believe that you connect yourself to wellness centers, and I happen to know of a good one that might be over here today.
Dr.
And
Ray.
I think you connect yourself with wellness centers and physicians that understand that maybe the way we've always practiced medicine isn't the best way.
They have studied beyond the
Yeah.
National Institute of Health.
Yes.
So they are students and researchers.
Yes, I do think that there will be recovery, or at least living much, much, much longer with the disease. I will tell you that my roommate, who is my best friend, she and I are both single late in life, so we're best friends and roommates. She was diagnosed 8 years ago. She drives, works, does everything normal. Do we have little memory lapses? Yeah, I call her Dory. And she watches a show that's a rerun. She may not remember it, but if we talk about it, she remembers it. She's functionally normal, and she was diagnosed progressive over 8 years ago. So we're definitely on the cutting edge of learning some things.
Yeah, so there's some reversal has been documented, like not all the way cure, but helping. So the book Reversing Alzheimer's, and I just gave her a copy of that. And Dr. Ray is an investigator for, let's get a little comment from Dee Dee, but also have Ray say that, and I have a question here while you guys get lined up.
I have a question, and I'm pretty sure everybody in the room is questioning the same thing. What's up with this?
Oh, we did it. You missed it. Everybody in the room did it. It shows the thinness of the skin as we age and the damage that can be done through Band-Aids. So while we're getting to that last question, look, guys, if you don't know who I am, I have a little stack of cards here. On the back is a QR code, which is the one that's up here. You can follow me on social media. You'll get to hear a whole lot more of my offensive teachings. But absolutely, check it out. There's lots and lots and lots of resources. I told you I teach it from a different angle. I want it to be from your side, not from our side. And I think the more that we understand what's going on with you guys and we relate to the age population, why wouldn't I want it to be better? Because I'm headed there really, really quick.
Yeah. So no sticky Band-Aids on thin skin. So she said to use a wrap instead. And also, we did a little thing on cake. We're going to do it on PBS, where you mix like Desitin, or tell them real quick what that is.
So how many of you have ever helped someone that's incontinent and you've had to deal with a sore little bum right here? Okay, so oftentimes you'll use Comulseptine or a zinc ointment, but that also pulls on the skin a lot. I mix it with A&D or a petroleum base and gives it a lot smoother, so we're not pulling that skin away. So I kind of showed that on your morning news the other morning, and had the anchor doing that. It was kind of fun.
We were mean to Jack on cake.
We were mean to Jack.
So that's a great tip. That goes on smoother. It doesn't rip the skin, and it's easier to clean up. We got a question here from Connie Pearl.
Do you think that the natural spices like turmeric helps delay dementia? Somebody told me turmeric was really good and gave me some, so I've been putting it in my coffee.
I will tell you that I take it every day for inflammation. I have an autoimmune disease. I was diagnosed with lupus, which is considered a crippling autoimmune, in my 30s. I'm 57 now. I spent a year in a wheelchair, took a whole bunch of steroids, ruined my body doing so. And here I am, and all I take is collagens and turmerics to manage the pain and the joint issues, and I do really, really well. So I think that we need to get away from the pharmaceutical companies and more into natural healing.
Oh, and like, why not throw the kitchen sink at it?
Yeah.
You know, like, try it all.
Yeah.
We've got Dr. Ray Rogers with some excellent insight.
Go.
I think someone had a question about in terms of dementia and Alzheimer's.
Decline. There are a lot of different things out here that people just don't know. Unfortunately, insurance is not going to cover it because you're not supposed to get well. You're supposed to progress down their algorithm. There's things out here, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Goodnow, who does plasmalogens. And plasmalogens are specialized phospholipid membranes, and to break that down, all of your cells have these fatty membranes around it, all of our cells. Well, 30% of those membrane phospholipids are plasmalogens, which are specialized cells in the brain. And what happens as we start to age, as everything declines, phosphatidylcholine declines, and that's the key to your neurotransmission and your cognition. And 50% of those plasmalogens are in the heart. So you can actually rebuild heart tissue, congestive heart failure, things like that with plasmalogens. One of the exciting things now is I just got approved. I'm one of the principal investigators for a new monoclonal antibody. It's called TB006. So if you meet criteria available in our clinic, it's actually reversing dementia. Reversing dementia. It's an IV infusion. The key to it, the finding though, it only lasts for 30 days, but you'll have your loved one there for 30 days, and then they may start to decline back. So they're trying to work on that, but that is available. And if you have just mild dementia, it may last you about 2 to 3 months. It's very pricey, but it's not as expensive as putting them in a acute long care facility. So we don't know, we know the monoclonal antibodies, but we don't know if some of the other things that we combine with it, like plasmalogens and things like that, will help to delay the return of the fire. The other thing we have to realize is the only thing that's compartmentalized are your physicians. You have your orthopedic doctors, you have your cardiologist, you have your neurologist. The body's not like that. It's all interconnected. And the one thing that I'm learning is that it's all one disease. There's no multiple autoimmune disorders, it's one. There's no multiple dementia, cancer, cardiovascular disease, it's one disease. It's called chronic inflammation. So when you're trying to get a treatment, you don't want to treat the what, you want to find your why. Because you have to work backwards. And so it's all comes down to metabolic dysregulation, and the key underneath that is insulin resistance, but you have to go further, dig deeper. It's cellular inefficiency. And that's what we want to do, and that's what we do. We help you to find your why and restore your cell to be efficient. If you give the body what it needs, it'll.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So she's been my doctor and cured my inflammation like overnight. I'm on natural hormone treatments and peptides, and I just feel so great, and it allows me to do the work I'm doing because I have Dr. Ray for a doctor. So you can tell she has a lot to share, so I would suggest a consult with her. She can grow back hair. You just won't even believe all the stuff she can do.
And I'm going to add to that for her just a little bit. So I own a home care agency. I don't know, how much an hour is home care here? 30? At least. Okay, so times that by 168. That's how many hours there are in a week. You got that number in your head yet? That's like 5,560. Don't ask. So that's how much each week to get 24-hour care. So, yes, the treatments aren't covered by your insurance. Yes, they're expensive, but we're seeing cutting-edge technology at a price that's going to save you so much money in the long run. So I absolutely recommend that you check things out and you don't just listen to everything that the doctors in the offices are saying. Dr. Ray is a medical doctor who has gone deeper. And back to what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to cure people a long time ago, and that's what doctors wanted to do. And now we unfortunately found out that the sicker you are, the more money we make. And so I'm not, I'm just telling you that there is information out there to answer that question of reversing and changing and staving off all kinds of diseases. So, did you have somebody?
Yes. All right, she's going to tell us, and we're going to end it with a question.
My mother was treated for a nursing home here in the city where used to treat her UTIs. She had ongoing UTIs. We refused to allow them not to treat her because she had dementia. They said, well, she can't tell it anyway. And I said, oh my goodness, it's got to be painful. You can tell by her behavior because she would act out and so on. She has to be treated. We insisted on it. At one point, she ended up in the hospital with sepsis. We just kept insisting that they would culture it and treat her. What else can we do, and why? Is money the only factor in this?
Money makes the world go around.
Yeah, you got to. This is the time to make lots of friends, guys,
Okay.
and to be working with Fleece and Gooing and all these people in this room, because these are going to be advocates for you. The people sitting next to you can be advocates. You've got to have advocates when you're in the hospital or when you're in care. And the key is you were insisting.
Yeah. So
Every
remember,
day.
the root of all evil is the love of what? Okay, money's not evil. The love of money is. Okay? So that is evil in its purest form. And I have seen it, I witness it, I watch it, and it goes all over the place. Advocate, advocate, advocate. Go.
So one of the things, exactly right, when you get a UTI and they get urosepsis, everybody presents differently. They may be angry. A lot of times you'll start to see they just kind of seem like they're out of it, like you just can't wake them up and all that. And so it's very easy. You can look at a person's urine in the morning and see how well they're hydrated. You can come to our office and do what we call an in-body scan, which will tell us if you're dehydrated because it will look at your intracellular water. You can drink water all day long, but if inside your cell is depleted, you're dehydrated and your kidneys taking a hit. The other thing that you can do, very simple, is there's a solution that's called Smart Silver. It's not colloidal silver, it's Smart Silver. It's a silver salt. You would be amazed at just taking 1 or 2 teaspoons of that, a little shot glass. You can use it as gel on wounds, those diabetic wounds, any kind of healing, heals right up. It kills viruses, bacteria, fungus. Do you have fungus in your toenails? It will resolve it. So that is a great way for prevention and or treatment, especially in the older. You can just drink some every day, and you would be amazed at how well you will start to heal and kind of stay off those organisms that are going to be there.
Yeah, so we have to be in control of our own health. I'm sorry to tell you that you have to be the one in charge. So it's not trust the doctor, trust the doctor, trust the doctor. You need to trust yourself and ask lots of questions.
And trust your loved ones. So lots of times we ignore our own health issues. I see this all the time. We'll ignore our own health issues, our own confusions, our own memory lapses because we're tough and we're just going to persevere and we're going to keep going. And we're going to pull up our bootstraps no matter what. And when your loved ones come to you and they say, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, I think I'm noticing some things, listen to them. They're not coming because they want to necessarily take everything away. The reality is, let's be honest, they don't want to have to take care of us. They don't. Mm-hmm. They don't want to. They're busy. So please listen to them and trust them and take care of yourselves and advocate for yourselves. I know we've gone way over.
Yep, so we're going to wrap it up. And I don't think I had my glasses on this morning when I typed that out. It's supposed to say help is on the way. So in September, I didn't even change that. Okay, next month, whatever month it is, Jillian and some very capable people are going to do Help is on the Way, community resources at diagnosis. So we're going to have Parkinson's Club and a lot of awesome people that are going to show you additional community resources to support you or your loved one when things happen.
And guys, before you head out, If you guys love the talk today and if you love what we do here with Empowered Senior, please let us know and fill out these papers that are on your table. If you have questions or comments or topics you would like to hear, go ahead and write those in. As well as there's a space down at the bottom. We know that spring is coming up, and that comes with a lot of home maintenance. And if you would like a home equity checkup or need to talk to somebody about home maintenance, stuff like that, we're happy to come out for a free consultation. So go ahead and check the box and make sure you do leave your phone number on here. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, give
Please
it up
fill
for
'em out.
Sam Cradduck.
Thank you.
Sydney, Australia didn't get her today. New York City didn't get her today. Wichita, Kansas got her today. Thank you so much.